Hello everyone, this is Srihari from Informatica Support. Today we will be talking about how to use Pmrep and Pmcmd commands. So when we have to use it, and why we have to use it. So let me start with Pmrep first. So the Pmrep, um, so first of all, we have to use Pmrep command to connect to repository service, and this is used to update the information, repository information. For example, if you want to create a connection, or if you want to delete a connection, or if you want to create a folder, or if you want to export an object, or if you want to import an object like workflow, or if you want to truncate the log. So all these um, things which you can do in Power Center Repository Manager, so you can also do that in PM. So you can sometimes when you are using Power Center Repository Manager tool, so maybe you will not be able to connect to the Power Center Repository service, maybe because of some reason. So in that case also you can actually try to connect using pmrep command and check whether you are able to connect to repository service or not. So that is the reason this acts as a thick client again. So Power Center Repository Manager, how we have the same way we can this acts as a this pmrep this particular .exe acts as a client again. So import export we can use. So pmrep is located in the directory which I have already shown in the this slide. So it will be in clients, Power Center client and client bin. So even it is present in the server. So today we will be talking about how to connect from client machine, and we'll use some connections, which connections needs to be used. Okay. So I'll be covering these commands today. So the first one is list connections, to list all the connections which are available in that particular repository. So this will be a relational connection, application connection like GMS. So all the kinds of connection it will you will be able to see here. So the second one is create connection. So this create connection is helpful when you want to create a new relational connection or application connection, and something like that. And get connection details. So get connection details is used to get the complete information about the connection. And if you want to delete the connection, some particular connection, the same way. So if you want to create a folder inside one particular, so if you want to create a folder in the repository, so you can actually do that using the create folder command. So you can delete again the same way. So list objects, for example, if you wanted to list object in particular folder, and if you want to list the list object dependencies also. So for example, if you want to list object workflow, and you want to know what all object dependencies are there for this particular workflow. For example, it will have a mapping, the source, target, all as a dependent objects. So we can actually have those listed. So that is helpful. And object export, how to export a particular object like workflow. And truncate log, truncate the log, so the repository log. And cleanup. So cleanup is like if you have already connected using one pmrep session, so we need to clear all the that particular, it creates some internal file there. So we need to the cnx files, so we can clean up using this particular command. So let me move to the demo first, and then we'll go to pmcmd. Okay. So I have opened my command prompt from my client machine, and then I have went to the Informatica installation directory, clients, Power Center client, client bin. So I'll just verify whether it is there or not. So this file, so you can see pmrep.exe process, a file is there. So you can now execute pmrep command. So let me start with the connect command first. So the connect command syntax looks something like this. So connect -r repository service name, -d the domain name, -n will be the username for which you log into repository service, or the client from client machine, the repository actually, and then the password. So it takes -r, -d, -n and -x syntax. Okay. So I was able to connect to repository service over here. So now I'll show the second. Okay, we'll cover all these. So yeah, we'll cover all the commands which I had listed before. So I'll just show one by one. So pmrep list connections. So I told you already that we need, if we want to list all the connections which are available, so we need to use this command. So that is this is the command which needs to be used. I'll just run it. Okay. So pmrep list connections. So if you can see below, there is one connection. So this is a connection name and this is a type. So it's a relational connection, so it is saying relational. So if it was application JMS connection, it will show application connection. Okay. So I'll create a new connection here by using a create connection command. So if you see, the list connections command didn't take any other options. So this is because it doesn't need any options. So it will list all the connections. Okay. Okay, I'll run create connection command now. Okay, it created a connection. So let me explain what all things are there here. So pmrep create connection it takes -s parameter. So -s type is to say which kind of connection, Oracle, SQL Server. So which kind of connection it is. So we need to specify this, and -n. So this is the name of the connection. So you can have any name for the connection. So you need to provide this. Okay, and -u. So this is for this is to provide the database. So here I am using Oracle connection, so I have to provide database username. So this is where I have to provide the username. -p password, and -c is to provide the connection string. So we need to provide this as well. And -l is the code page, which code page needs to be create, which with this connection, which code page needs to be mentioned. So that is, I have mentioned it as UTF-8. You can see here. So I have created this connection. So all these things are mandatory. So I'll just show you what all extra things are available here. So if you want, you can again provide connection environment SQL, database name, um, server name. So all these things. So but the minimum mandatory part is we have to provide all the connections which I had listed earlier. So that those are minimum. So for the Oracle connection. Okay. So I'll delete this connect. Probably I'll get the connection details now. So I'll have to run get connection details. So for this, let me run this first. So I'll get the connection, complete information for this particular connection. So it provides me all the information, get connection details. So -n is again the connection name. So you need to know the connection name uh, of which you want to get the details for. Okay, and -t is relational. So we have to provide which kind of connection is which type of connection it is. So if you just do pmrep get connection details, so you will understand what all options are available and what all needs to be used. So if you are missing some option, it will complain that you are missing an option which is mandatory. So for example, I'll just type test the connection name, something like this. So it will say -t is required. So that time you have to provide -t, and then since it's a relational, I am giving it as relational, so it will start providing all the details for the same. So if while creating connection, you can have a rollback segment, all the other options like I showed earlier. Okay. So now I'll go with the delete connection option. Okay. So let me delete the same connection which I created just a while ago, which is test as Kulkarni. So the syntax is just simple. So you have to just give the connection. That's it. So now it will ask me whether I have to delete it or not. So again, we have to provide, if we provide yes, it will delete, otherwise it won't delete. Okay, it will ask for this. Yeah. So I'll just create a folder, just um, just a simple folder. So we can also create this folder in repository manager. So okay, see, it created. So if you want to verify whether it is created or not, again you can check it in repository manager. So let me see, I'll show you. So if you can see my screen, I am connecting to the same repository service. So here if you see, it has created a test underscore pmrep. So that is what I just created. Okay. So now I'll run pmrep delete folder command. Similarly, like how we actually created a folder, we can delete it also. So that is what I'll do right now. So I'll delete the same folder. Okay. So it got deleted. It says folder deleted successful. Delete completed successful. Okay. So I'll do a list objects now. So list objects takes syntax something like this. So -o is to mention that I want to list object which is of a workflow. So -o, it will say it will list all the workflow objects. So -f is a folder name. Okay. So I'll just click enter. So this should show all the workflows. Okay. So now, so next command should be list object dependencies. So list object dependencies, let me just type it. So list object dependencies, it will again take the workflow name. So I am giving the workflow object. So it needs to show the dependent objects of this particular workflow. So this workflow is already there in the folder in the repository. I have already created it. So I'm just trying to see whether it is there or not. Okay. So I am just checking here the workflow object dependency. So here Hyphen n is the name of the workflow folder name, and here I am mentioning that it's a workflow, and hyphen p is important here. So here children and parent, so we can give two options and both options. So children and parent is so if you use children or children option here, so I'll show that. So if you see, it started showing all the child objects which are child dependent. So yeah, so here we cannot execute as a parent because it's already a parent. So we can have the, so for example mapping, if you select a mapping here, so we can actually have two-way relations. So mapping has parent as a workflow and child as a source, targets, and the transformations which it has. So that here, um, since I selected both, it tried to show both of them. So if you select both, it will show both the parent side as well as child side. So all the dependency objects. Okay. So let's go to the object export now. So object export, it will take a name of the workflow for folder name, and then workflow. We have to provide the type of the object, and then the output file, output XML. So I'm just making it as something like this. So it is the same way when we export from repository manager. So it will the similar way it will export. So if you want some more options to be provided, you can just see. So hyphen v version number if it's a version repository, hyphen as it says export objects referred by shortcut. So if you want, you can select all these particular things also. So I am actually showing you the basic and mandatory options which needs to be provided for a particular workflow to export. Okay. So here truncate log. So truncate log, it takes command something like this. So you have to provide hyphen t option, and then you have to provide the end time or all. So up to end time means it will till this date. So I can provide date and then hour, minute, seconds. So it should be in the format something like this. Okay, or it can take the days also. So if I provide 2, so it will automatically think that I have to consider 3 days from the current date. So if I press 3, it will start deleting all the logs for from today. It's like 3 days, right? So today, yesterday, and day before yesterday from current time stamp. Okay. So the last command is cleanup. So since we have already used this session, there would be some CNX file, so which would have been resided. So these are not useful once we are logging out session. So it's better to clean up. So I'll just clean up. So it will clean up. Okay. So this is about Pmrep now. So if let's move on to Pmcmd. So PMCMD again. So again, as I said, Power Center repository manager is used to connect to repository service, and we use Pmrep for that. So PMCMD is for the workflow manager and workflow monitor. So it is about all about connecting to integration service, and we can here we can start sessions, we can start workflows, we can start tasks, we can abort tasks, we can schedule a workflow, we can unschedule a workflow here, we can get a session statistics. So we'll be covering some commands for the same, which are again used vastly. So the first thing was that. Second thing is this is located in the Power Center server as well as client directory. So in the client directory, you have to go to command line utilities, PC server bin. So I have mentioned it in the second point here. So the third point is again similar to the Pmrep which I said. So if for example, if you are again not able to connect to integration service, if some user is not able to connect to integration service from some particular local machine, so from workflow manager or monitor, so it might be because you can actually try to connect using Pmcmd. So even if that fails, then we can isolate later whether it's a network issue or something like that, or this internally is being used all the time. So when you are trying to connect to integration service. So let me start. You go to that location first, and then I'll run the pmcmd command. So first let me show what all commands I'll be running on the same. So connect. So connect is to connect to the integration service, particular integration service in your domain. So and ping service is to make sure whether the integration service is up and running or not, like whether it is alive or not. It will provide the state of it. Okay. So start workflow, about workflow, and stop workflow. Again, we can start the workflow, stop the workflow. So schedule and unschedule again. So if you have a workflow with a scheduler, you can schedule and unschedule the workflow. And get service details and service properties is to get the particular integration service details and the properties involved for them. So I'll show that. So what all things we get from that, and get running session details, sessions details. So how many sessions are running right now, so we can get all the details, something like that. So I'll show what kind of output we get. So get session statistics. So it is to get the statistics of particular session. So what is the source, target, applied rows, at all this kind. I'll show all one by one. So let me first connect to uh, the pmcmd. First let me go to the directory where it will be available. So it will be available in clients, power center client, command line utilities, PC server. So let me go there. Okay. So let me start running the command now. Okay. So this is the location. So I will just do connect now. So it asks for the username. So I need to provide the username. So security domain again, password and domain name. So you can get the domain name from your admin control or from the domains.info from your server machine. Okay. And the integration service name. You need to know the integration service name. So now it is successfully connected to this particular integration service. So yeah, now let's start. Start one particular workflow. So this is the syntax. So start workflow will take -f. So let us see how it is, what it really requires. So start workflow -f the folder name. If you want, you can provide the parameter file and the other option, start from task instance path, the OS profile which you want to run, and the run instance name workflow. So the minimum thing which we have to provide is, which I am covering right now. So we have to provide workflow name and the folder name. So if you want extra information, if you want to provide, you can provide the same. Okay. So since I have started the workflow, let me stop it. So it also takes the similar command. So now because it is already completed, so it is not able to stop it. So we have to run as quickly as possible because it is running. The run is being completed within seconds. So I'll just start this workflow, okay, and then stop it. So now it's stopped. It is stopped. So my request was gone. So similarly about workflow. So about workflow I can't do now because it is already stopped. So again I have to start and abort it. So similarly there is the abort workflow is similar to it has the same syntax again, -f and the workflow name. Okay, if you want you can provide the other options. Okay, so next we'll move on to the schedule workflow. So schedule workflow, let me show what is the syntax for that. Um, so it is again -f, folder name and the workflow. So I already have a workflow which has a scheduler. So I'll just try to schedule that workflow. Okay. So this is the workflow. I just scheduled the workflow. So again, unschedule is similar to that. So it is you have to just prefix un and then you have to unschedule it. Okay. So we'll now take get running session details and get session statistics. Okay. Before that, we need to we had two more commands. So we'll try to run those commands as well. So which are get service details. Sorry. So get service details and get service properties. So let me do that. Get service details. Okay. So this is integration service status, startup time when it was started, current time, and then number of scheduled workflows, number of active workflows, so all these things. So let me just schedule a workflow again and then see what is the output of it. Okay. So if you see it is increased to 1. So this is just a get service details. So one more command was get service properties. So this is something all about the integration service. So on which what all properties of integration service. So here if you see it has domain name, what is the version, what is the data moment mode, it is Unicode here. So is connected to which particular domain, what is the repository service name, and startup time again the same thing. So it has the code page also which it is running, what is the operating system, and other things here. Okay, so let me exit here. So because we have to get running sessions details. So for that the command is something like this. Okay, so it is like get running session. So you have to provide the integration service name, the domain name, the username and password. No much other information is required. So it will provide, if you see the output, so it says number of active sessions on this integration service is 0. So right now I don't have any services, any sessions running right now. That's why it is showing us 0. That's the main. Okay, the other details are already shown earlier. So let's move to the last command. So the last command is get session statistics. So get session statistics is to get a particular sessions statistics. So we have to provide uh, the session name here because we need to know the statistics of that, and the workflow name is again dependent because uh, it is a parent here, and we need to provide the folder name also. It is mandatory, and the other things which are mandatory which needs to is integration service name, the domain name, and username password. So let me run this command. Okay. Oh, hold on. This is a typo. Okay. So I just got the information of session statistics here. So source, success rows, failed rows, uh, uh, failed rows, etc. Like task run status, first error code, all these things. So which session is this? Is mapping ff2db. So I'll just run this particular session uh, in my from my workflow designer. Okay, workflow manager. Mm, hold on. From this particular designer pane. Uh, okay, here from this particular workflow designer pane. So I'll just run it. Okay. So this is a scheduled workflow. This I tried to run that. So I'll run this flow fwf underscore test. So and then I'll run this command. So here if you see one row was applied, affected rows, rejected rows is 0 throughput. So you'll get all these details from that. Okay. So if you want more information, you can just type pmcmd get session statistics. So it will give all the information which you. So if you want to add some more information before you have to see what's really there. So if you want more explanation about this, so you can go to any Power Center client. So this, let me show that any Power Center client you can go help contents, and then you can go to command reference guide, and then you will be able to see pmrep and pmcmd command reference. So you can check all the commands here. So it will list, for example, I can show one particular pmrep command. So it will, for example, assign integration service. It has the explanation of it. So you can get here more details. Okay. So yeah, this ends this PMCMD and PMRep. Thank you. Bye.